Vikings going to lose to the Giants. Special year concludes this weekend. I'm here to ponder, and here's where my breakdown. I like to think against the grain. I'm a contrarian. The Chiefs to win the AFC plus 135 is not fun to me. That's not exciting. They might be the best roster, but I like value. And look at the NFL. The NFL is where the craziest crap can happen. So I'm just telling you here before we break it down, expand your mind for what happened. Let's think about this. Matt Stafford won a Super Bowl last year. It was like, okay, Rams. Look at the Rams this year, and compared to what they did last year, no one thought the Bengals were going to the Super Bowl last year. The Bengals made the Super Bowl last year. So let's just open your mind to what the hell could happen in an NFL playoff weekend. Why can't the Giants make some noise in a totally wide open NFC? Something to ponder. All it takes, everyone's saying San Francisco, 10 straight wins. Shanahan, death taxes and Shanahan. Shanahan's a choker when it comes to one and done. Always has been, always will. All it takes is one Brock Purdy bad game. Yes, they've won 10 straight. There's been maybe once or twice where they've been down and faced any adversity. What about when they have that in a playoff game? Are they going to be comfortable? They've been so used to coasting, to winning, crap conference. They've got a great defense. They got a great roster. They plug in a guy that could just throw like Jimmy G, like Trey Lance, like they've always done, and they're coasting. But now what happens in the playoffs? They crap in the Super Bowl. They crap late in the playoffs last year. What's going to happen this year? Everyone's like, 49ers, it's a lock, right? They've got it. Why can't somebody just make Brock Purdy look like Mr. Irrelevant for one game, maybe one quarter, all it takes, and it's done? The Chiefs were beating the Bengals that whole time, and then they kind of played with their food, and all of a sudden, Joey B, Bengals get a couple stops at the right time, and they're going to the Super Bowl, and Chiefs are, left out last year. Seahawks weren't even supposed to be here. This is a divisional rivalry game with Pete Carroll, who has won a Super Bowl, and now all of a sudden, is it Pete Carroll? Well, now that we always analyze the Bill Belichick, Tom Brady breakup, why aren't we doing the same with Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll? Right? Brady looks to be winning the breakup with Belichick. Whatever you want to say about that. Pete looks to be winning the breakup with Russell Wilson. I'll tell you that much. He's doing it with Geno Smith. Nobody could do anything with Geno Smith. Now they're here. Everyone, including myself, said the Packers were there. It's Aaron Rodgers, right? The NFL's rigged, right? They want the Packers. Nope. Okay, Dan Campbell, he strikes again. And now you get the Seahawks all of a sudden. They've got the whole chip on their shoulder. They've got nothing to lose. Their season was done. Now they're here. Third game against the 49ers this year. They've lost 2. It's very hard to beat a team twice. It's especially harder to beat a team 3 times. Seahawks. Credit to Tony Dungy. He was the only one with a sack to actually pick against the Packers on Sunday Night Football in their game picks. Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur happened again. They can never seem to only one Super Bowl in Aaron Rodgers' career. Is it done? What's next? He didn't want to give his jersey to Jameson Williams. Is it because Rodgers is selfish bleep hole, or is it because he's retiring and he wants that jersey? They fall short again. I mean, this time it was a little less like, they completely fell apart, because it was like they were down and out. Then all of a sudden they worked all their way back and got there, and then they fizzled out again. It was still deflating. I called Dan Campbell the worst coach in football, and then he went like 9-1. He's still, he didn't make the playoffs. Come on. All right, great. Okay, he's 9-8. Congrats. Cliff Kingsbury just got fired. Didn't he have 11 wins last year? Dan Quinn is getting another job. He's being interviewed by Broncos. Hey, I'll just let you know how that's going to work out. Not well. The NFL is just a lot of regurgitation of coaches. And I still don't believe in Dan Campbell. He's doing weird shit. Everyone's loving what he's doing, trying to go for the kill against the Packers. That's also how you lose a game. It looks a lot better when you do it with nothing to lose, right? You're already out and you're just sticking it to the Packers, letting give it to a rival, keep them out too. Hey, how much you do that in a couple of games earlier when you were 1-6 and maybe you make the playoffs? I see a lot of people are going to love Dan Campbell next year. I'm still telling you he's a buffoon. And we'll see what the NFC North looks like next year. Pete Carroll's a good coach. He has a title. Everyone loves the 49ers. I like going against the grain, contrarian pick. Dylan, what are you talking about? You got the 6 and 7 seed moving on? You bet your ass I do. All right. Well, I've been telling you all year long, death taxes and Brady. It's all part of the plan. Brady doesn't care about the regular season. Brady's not putting anything on tape. Buccaneers are going to do it. Here they are. They got here against all odds. They win the division. They're below 500. Brady somehow breaks his own record for complete. Like, he was still good and bad at the same time. It's crazy. And what he's doing is insane. He's probably going to come again next. He's going to come back again next year. Is he going to win, 10 more Super Bowls? So it's finally here, right? Okay. Brady's got the home game. Dallas doesn't scare me. That's half. Well, here's my thoughts on Dallas. Okay. So Mike McCarthy doesn't scare me. The roster, Micah Parsons, scares me for how bad the Bucs have looked. So basically what I'm telling you is, I still like my Bucs future, which I have. I think it's like 12 plus 1,200. Put 2 units on it, $50. And I'm just letting it ride. But I'm telling you, this is the game where if they get past this game, I love it, right? Okay, full steam ahead. But I was hoping the Philly was coming here. I was hoping Jalen Hurts was injured. I was hoping Gardner Minshew was coming here. Even just a banged up Jalen Hurts coming to Tampa. And I like that. Dallas has a good roster. Micah Parsons could absolutely flatten Tom Brady. Fournette, they're not running the football like they used to. Good to see that Brady and Mike Evans started firing on that full cylinder connection towards the end of the season. And that's all it takes. But if that's not there against Trevon Diggs and the Cowboys, it's going to be a long evening, afternoon, day, long playoff game. So I'm rooting for you, Brady. I'm still believing, like my prophecy said from earlier in the season. I've been saying it every week, every month. Brady's going to win his 8th Super Bowl. Brady's going to win the Super Bowl. Now I'm waiting and seeing here. Dallas and Tampa, more of a coin flip for me now that it's actually here. But that's the other thing, too. Maybe I'm worrying for nothing. Brady's never lost to the Cowboys. Dak looked really bad in the last game. He hasn't looked great this year. And Mike McCarthy, the bumbling fool. Another one of these guys who doesn't do well in the postseason outside of the Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl, the one and only. The Bucs have just looked bad, and I just put that clown face on. I'm like, Brady, we're good. Hey, it worked out. You'll have to do it this week, and it's a tough test. So let's make some predictions. Okay, so yeah, I'd love for so here's the thing. There's a reason Vegas made Tampa a 3-point dog at home. It's like when they made the Vikings a dog at home when the Cowboys were coming down. Vikings fans going, huh? What? And then we saw why it was a 40-point beatdown. Maybe the Cowboys, make the Buccaneers look like a TCU this weekend. Who knows? But I'm hoping. Come on, Brady. Let's do it. Come on, Tom. All right, so let's just say, for the sake of, no one's listening to me anymore. As soon as I said Giants Seahawks, as soon as I said the Seahawks, you guys turned this off, didn't you? So let's say Giants Cowboys, right? So 6, 7, and 5. So I've got every upset in the NFC. So Giants Cowboys would be the next matchup. Another divisional battle rivalry. Cowboys 2-0 winners during the regular season. Very hard to beat a team twice. Very hard to beat a team 3 times. Why not? Giants beat Mike McCarthy. Eagles Seahawks. I told you the Vikings were frauds. I told you the Eagles were frauds. And this is why. So, Dayball, Danny Dimes roll in, beat the Cowboys in Dallas. I said Saquon wasn't good, and now he's top 5 in rushing this year. Do it again next year. But the Giants aren't terrible. Brian Dayball's a good coach. They won with Eli Manning. Nick Foles has won a Super Bowl. Joe Flacco's won a Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer's won a Super Bowl. Crazier things have happened. I got the Giants over the Cowboys. And I just think Nick Sirianni, I'm not a believer. Not a believer. Prove it. So I'm going to go upset again. Let's go Giants, Seahawks, NFC Championship. How do you like that? Geno runs out of magic. The G-Men are going to the Super Bowl. That's 20-1. Giants to win the NFC. Why not? I like it. If they beat the Vikings, have a divisional game. Potentially have another divisional game if you think the Eagles are going to get there. I don't know. Who's going to be this year's Bengals? Who's going to be this year's Rams? I think the NFL is wide open. And I'm not even looking at the favorite. The Buffalo Bills, they were the favorite coming into the season. That's no fun. That's no fun. That's vulnerable. The Buffalo Bills, go watch the Four Falls of Buffalo. It's cursed. That's a cursed franchise. It's crazy. So let's go to the AFC. I mentioned when we started here on Corbett's Corner, nobody saw the Bengals coming. The Tennessee Titans were the 1 seed last year, and that was, a terrible game. And the Bengals, Tennessee had the bye, and Tennessee's, Ryan Tannehill, right? So the Cincinnati comes in, beatable team, and they get the job done. They get hot at the right time. A young quarterback and a team coming out of nowhere, right? The Bungles, everyone's making fun of them. They're a loser franchise. All of a sudden, they get a quarterback, still stink. He was injured. Next year, boom, all of a sudden, has a nice year, and then come playoff time, he's Joe Shiesty again. A guy that did it in college, right? One of the greatest college football teams and players we've ever seen. I'm thinking the same this year, right? Young quarterback and a team coming out of nowhere. But it's Trevor Lawrence. Guy who's done it at a championship level throughout college, throughout high school. Had a really brutal rookie year, as most rookie quarterbacks do. And he also had Urban Meyer, right? That debacle. Now, all of a sudden, Jacksonville spends some money on the offensive line, gets Trevor Lawrence some weapons. Travis Etienne Jr. is healthy. Doug Peterson comes in, a guy who is, he's solid. He's won a Super Bowl, right? I don't think Doug Peterson's the Messiah, but he's won a Super Bowl. That's something Kyle Shanahan has not done. They get the Chargers. They could potentially get 2 home games, right? If there's an upset and all of a sudden they're hosting in that divisional round. And all of a sudden 20-1 is looking a lot better. I think the Jags are 1-point dogs. The line is moving away from the Chargers. Look, I don't know if I'm there with Brandon Staley. He's doing some Dan Campbell things. He's doing some crazy. Why did he start everyone when they had the playoffs locked in? Mike Williams is banged up because of that decision. I just don't know if I could trust the Chargers yet. I don't know if I could trust Jacksonville yet, but that defense cannot be overlooked. Underrated. Travon Walker, number 1 overall pick. I mean, the Jaguars upgraded. Coach. Quarterback, rookie to sophomore. You saw that leap with Fields in terms of at least fantasy production. I don't know about throwing. You didn't see it with Zach Wilson, but you've seen it. Joe Burrow made that leap. Jalen Hurts has looked a lot better. Quarterbacks get a lot better as the 1 to 2 year leap is huge. And we saw it with Trevor Lawrence this year during the regular season. Can we see it in the postseason? I think he's got a nice matchup coming in. And look we always look at the Jaguars matchups over the season and go, oh, that's a crazy. Remember they beat the Cowboys? They've got some crazy wins under their resume this year, in one of the crappier divisions, but they can hang with some of the better teams in the NFL. And I like the Valiant. How about that? Bill's going to beat Miami with Tua, without Tua. They split the series. Dolphins, I think, are the worst team in the playoffs. Only team that no one is thinking about betting on this weekend, right? We've seen, so money has come in on both sides for every game so far in terms of spread. So it's like you can't, sometimes on Monday, one team's public. Tuesday, it could switch the other side. Lines moving. People's, thoughts about the game are shifting and moving as we get injury news throughout and closer to the week. But one thing has remained steady, and that is nobody in terms of the public thinks the Ravens are going to beat the Bengals. Why not? Ravens, good defense. John Harbaugh, Super Bowl winning coach. Can they win on the road even without Lamar? Crazier things have happened. I'm still not sold on Zach Taylor. Bengals look great. Yeah, but, okay, do it in the Super Bowl. Don't blow it in the Super Bowl on the last play, last drive. I'll go Ravens. If no one's thinking the Ravens, I love me some Ravens then. I think the Bills are cursed. So let's go. So Bills, Jags. I got the Jags over the Bills. I think the Bills are a fade-worthy spot since they were the preseason favorites. And I all of a sudden really like the Jaguars team. I mean, look, winning in, they've already won pretty much a playoff game against the Titans, playoff atmosphere at home. Jacksonville was getting up. That's that looked like a pretty decent stadium to host a playoff game. And this team was in when they had Jalen Ramsey, they were in an AFC title game not too long ago. So hey, why not? I like the Jaguars. And I think the Chiefs are the best team, best roster. I think that was the case last year. It's been the case for the last 4 or 5 years. But they've proven to us that they can lose these games. They play with their food. Mahomes seriously looked like he wants to go deep on every play, and he gets sick if he throws a slant route. He wants yards. He's the odds-on MVP again. And, it's set up for the Chiefs. The league is set up for the Chiefs to dominate. Tyreek left and Mahomes still won the MVP. It's his world. We're all living in it. But they've never had a defense. And that offense can win without a defense, except if you just play it perfectly. Like the Bengals have, like the Patriots have, like the Bucks did. The Chiefs are vulnerable. And I think Jacksonville clips them. Jaguars win their first Super Bowl ever as a franchise over the Giants. How about that? You can laugh at me all you want. They'll probably be totally wrong by the end of Saturday, maybe Sunday. But like I said, Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. The Rams, they were what? That team they were not supposed to be this bad this year. I know Cooper Kupp got injured, Matt Stafford injured, but it is something that was bizarre how far they dropped off. Expect the unexpected.